Hey there folks, I was doing a lesson today and got on to talking about some extra kind of chords that you can use in blues to kind of spice up your blues rhythm playing a bit. So kind of, if you're new to blues, then you kind of look in kind of beginners blues books and usually get something like this thrown at you. Okay, which is cool, it's great, everyone should learn that. But there's more to kind of blues rhythm than just doing that. So what I thought I'd do is put together a collection of some useful chords that you can play over a blues, and these can be chopped and changed about as much as you want. So you could go from a 6 chord to a 9 chord in the space of a bar, or if you're on A, say for 4 bars, you could jump around as much as you want. Okay, so play about with them, find the ones that you like playing, the ones that you like the sound of, and see if you can add them into your rhythm playing. I would suggest kind of taking something like this and this and trying to put like a rhythm to it. So you could have one guitar player going and you could be doing that. Okay, that's just 2 chords. That's A major, okay, the top end, an A major bar chord, and then bringing in your pinky to the 7th fret on the B string to make that into an A6. Okay, you don't even necessarily have to go into the theory of kind of what these chords are or why they are. You can just think, oh, I quite like that sound. Okay, that's an A9 chord there, but without the algebra, that just might be a nice sound that you want to use. Okay, so I'll run through these, and there's a sheet you can grab as well. I've written them all out for you. So A major, right? Rather than that big chunky bar chord, break that into the 4 strings. That goes really nicely across to that A6 I already showed you there. Or bring the pinky up one more to get A7. And they can all be used together. And that is kind of replicating that kind of business. Okay, that might be a lot more fun to do, especially if there's, say, 2 guitar players. You can't both do that. Okay, so get yourself up the higher end of the fretboard and chop some chords. Okay, so whilst we're up here then, we just did a 7 chord. Let's do another 7 chord. Let's do this one. This is a great one. This is based around the D7 chord shape. You might know down there. Okay, but played up here with the 7th fret on the D string as well. Okay, that's your A note. Now makes that an A7 chord. Nice one. And you'll find these notes have their place in blues as well. So let's do another 7 then. Let's say you're down here in the open position. Okay, that's an A major chord there. You can turn that into an A7 by taking out whatever finger you've got on the G string. So here, that's my middle finger. Okay, or I could refinger that to make it more comfortable. However you do it, introducing that G note will turn you into an A7. Okay, but you can also take this basic A and add on that G note on top. You could do that with a kind of bar across the 2nd fret, or you could go all 4 fingers if you want. Depends what the situation kind of demands. But that one, you'll find Stevie Ray Vaughan using that one all the time. It's quite a common one for blues. You might find players reach up to the A and then come down again and then go to our next chord, A6. Okay, so think about that straight line that you have there for A. That's the 7th, flat 7th, the G note, the F sharp note is the 6th. Now you can do 4 fingers in a row, but actually you might find that 1 finger in a line gets a better result. Okay, Okay, so those are great. And again, you can kind of do that that sort of thing down there as well. Same notes moving about on top. So those are quite nice. Coming back over here then, let's say you've got this full bar chord. Well, you can turn that into A7 by taking out your pinky. That's now a 7 shape, dominant 7 shape for a bar chord. So that's A7. And now that pinky's free, we could bring that on to the 6th. Yeah, sharp note there. Which actually now, because the 7th note, the flat 7th, is in the chord, technically this would be A13. Okay, if you ever wondered what a 13 is, it's a 7 chord that's got the 6th thrown in as well. Okay, it's a 6th when there's no 7th there. Throw the 7th in, and now it's 13. Okay, so there we go. You can do that, and again, you can bring that pinky up to the 8th fret and go back to a straight 7th. Right then, let's try something else then. Let's go for a little further up the neck. Let's take this one. Okay, for a 7th chord. This is based around that C7 shape. You might come across down there. Bring that up to the 12th fret. That's your A note there. That's your root. And that's an A7. Okay, it's quite high up the neck, but it's a nice one. And knowing that that's your root note means actually wherever you put that on the A string, okay, the note at the bottom of that is going to be your root. Okay, so if you're playing an A blues, E, D, that's an A. Okay, quite a nice movable shape. You could tag that onto E and D and play one of your 8 chord variations here. Whatever you like. Sticking with this one, if we kind of like moved across to the next lot of strings, we could introduce the 5th on top. Okay, and we get this other way to play A7 up high here. That's quite a nice one, especially if you're moving around kind of on the higher strings. Nice one. Cool sound, that one. I've also thrown onto the sheet the Hendrix chord. Okay, now that we're up in this area of the neck, if you do this, okay, you know that note sounds a little bit wonky. Okay, this is A7 sharp 9. This is an altered chord. It's a great one for blues though. Okay, and you can play this elsewhere on the neck if you don't like doing it up here, but that's your common kind of Hendrixy shape. Yeah. Let's go on to 9ths now. We'll hit a sharp 9 there. Let's make it a normal 9, a natural 9th. And let's go back to the 5th fret. Now here, it's quite a cool 9th chord. It might be a bit of a handful though. So what you can do with this one, if you find that a bit much, is you can break that up into parts. So you could do just the bottom 4 strings worth. Okay, and actually now this shape, you could think of this as C sharp minor 7 flat 5. Okay, so minor 7 flat 5 chord from the 3rd of A. Okay, there's A, root, 3, 5, 7, 3. Okay, 5, flat 7, 9. So this doesn't have a root in unless you splat that pinky out on top. But we don't always have to play the root. Okay, someone else can be playing the root. Bass player could be hammering away on an A note. Okay, we don't have to play it. So that's quite a nice one. have some fun with that. And slide it up a couple of frets, or slide in from below. Fun little shape to move around. So if you go over to D, you could drop into a regular kind of 9th chord there, or you could bring that up to the 3rd of D, F sharp, okay. And then on E, the 3rd of E, G sharp. And have some fun with that. Okay, a little bit darker sounding because of that whole minor 7 flat 5 thing. Again, this kind of full shape here, if you found that a little bit dark, then you could do just the top 4 strings of that. That's a little brighter there. That's a nice one to sort of chop away with. Okay, have some fun with that. Okay, so classic 9th shape. I played a couple there actually on D, but keep it in A for now. This thing, okay, it's usually played with a bar with the 3rd finger, a 12, 11, A, C sharp, and then pick up your flat 7, 9, and 5th on top. That one's great, real staple of blues, jazz, funk. Okay, rock, you'll find that one all over the place. Great for funking around. James Brown loves that one. Okay, it's that real 9th chord sound that we love, right? So if you're playing, let's say that one in A, if you put that 9th shape there, the D and the E, full kind of right there, you can keep it all together, or you can hop up here to your A. D, do whatever you like. Right, there we go. That's a great little one there. Another 9th shape. This one I find doesn't get kind of used as much. Probably because it seems like a bit of a handful to play at first. It's easy to kind of like get your 3rd and 4th fingers jumbled up on this. So that's root, 3rd, flat 7, 9th. Okay, everything you need to make a nice healthy 9th chord. Great little shape, that one. Okay, going on from there then, we could do something like this. I'm told the captain quite likes this one. It's a bit of a stretch down here in A. This is flat 7, 9, 3, root on top. You might find that easy to use in other keys, so you can bring that up here, the 12th fret for E, or 10th fret for D. That works quite nice. Okay, and going on from 9th then, just a couple more I'll throw in. We mentioned 13s earlier on. Here's another way you could play A13. So rather than kind of putting the 5th of the chord in as well, playing that whole big chunky bar chord, particularly jazz players might kind of strip that back for just the key notes there. So you've got the root on top there, you've got one on the bottom, you've got the flat 7, the 3, and then there's 13, the 6th note. Okay, and you might also find you're able to pick up the 9th on top. You might want to play that part of it and drop the root. That makes it quite movable then. Definitely gets a bit more jazzy when you get up to those 13s, right? Play around, and the root on top even. Play around, take the 9th in, take pick it away. Quite fun sounding chords. Okay, so that's like loads of chords there. Okay, there's plenty of stuff to play around with. I would suggest kind of getting a backing track going maybe for an A blues, and trying out some of these chords. Okay, you have to get all of those into one run. Okay, that's a bit mad, but just target one of them to start with. Say, okay, I quite like the sound of this thing, so I'll try and play that in my 12 bar over the A chords. And then I know I quite like D9 here. And then I don't know, why don't I use this 7 shape from my E back to D, and jump over there. Okay, mix and match those, play around with them, have some fun, and if you've got any questions with that, then give us a holler. All right, take care.